but the point is you would figure that the Cowboys would have a conservative offensive game plan, not having a lot of respect for the Jet passing game, and the Jets will have a conservative game plan, not wanting to let Zach Wilson get them in trouble.
I don't know if the pride of Dak Prescott will allow him to say, okay, because I'm going against a great defense, let's hand the ball over and check it down.
That's why
he's going to try and push the ball down the field.
That's why the head coach fired Kellen Moore back in February, apparently, is for moments like this where he's going to take the ball out of Dak Prescott's hand, which in this week.
What are you saying to Dak Prescott?
No. Look, Sunday night against the Giants in the rain with a big early lead.
You were there. You did that game.
And listening to Mike McCarthy after the game, they did take the ball. Like they told Dak, we're in our bad weather plan. If we don't turn it over, we can't lose. And he felt like Dak made smart decisions and appropriate decisions in that game. I think they'll build on that and do that again against this monster Jets defense.
Listen,
I really do.
They're missing Schultz, and with that run game, and that if the Jets make them one-dimensional, you're gonna put it in. Dak gonna have to put the ball up too now. And listen, if Whitehead is still batting at 1,000, we get a couple turnovers, then he's gonna have to play football.
And that's smart. That gives the Jets a real chance to win. And I think Sean McDermott's a great coach. I think they had a bad night because if I'm Josh Allen and the Bills, the only way I could lose to the Jets is by turning it over. And that's why the way they attacked the Jets made no sense to me.
If they only turned it over 3 times, they probably win the game. So I think if you're Dallas, unless the Jets somehow get an early lead, right, then maybe you're trying to come back and you put it. But I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, that Dallas defense looked like a horror movie.
Of course, when you're playing against only a left side of the line, no right side. Of course. Yeah. That's different.
But the Jets' offensive line, you're talking about them like the team that you played on is suddenly there. That was DeBrickashaw Ferguson and Nick Mangold and Damian Woody.
That team is not as bad as it was last week.
The line you're talking about.
Yeah, the line. You talk about those plays to cut three-step drop. The ball's supposed to be going. That's on Rodgers. That's not on Dwayne Brown. It wasn't on Becton on the other side. Every player understands what that play is to get the defensive line hands down so that we can throw the quick slant flat. A quick concept. That's not on them. They played a lot better than people give them credit for.
Okay, so going into this game, we might have 2 of the, let's say, 3 best defenses in the NFL that will be on the field at the same time. Let's give San Francisco their due, right? They look elite, and there are a lot of other good ones. I think we think the Jets and Cowboys are going to be outstanding at it. What do you expect from Dak Prescott? Obviously, I have been very Zach Wilson-centric and focused and concerned this week. Tell me what you expect from Dak Prescott against Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, and company.
Well, I think Dak Prescott's going to look out there and he's going to give his guys chances to make plays early, try and get up, and then maybe take his foot off the gas. And I think he's going to try the Sauce, and he's going to get wet. Simple as that.
I like that a lot. I mean, to be clear, what you're suggesting is you think he's going to throw the ball in the direction of Sauce Gardner and he's going to intercept.
Or DJ Reed.
But hold on a second. Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer get paid too. They know that. They're not going to go anywhere close to Sauce Gardner until they have to. And that's where the Jets are going to be in a real conundrum.
He's a man.
No, but that's why the Jets have to be really patient on offense screening. They can't force it, and then they have to force the other team to make bad decisions. If they do that, they have a chance.
America's team, man. Listen, they're going to be feeling themselves. Home opener, they're going to be feeling themselves. And there's going to be a lot of electricity. He's not going to want to play like that. He's playing for a contract, too. He's going to want to be the reason that they win. Let's go throw the ball. Let me show everybody what I've learned, what I can do. And it's going to be
well, what you're talking about, to the point that Graziano was making a moment ago, and I think Tannenbaum said it, is literally the reason they made the change on their offensive coaching staff that they made a year ago, because there were moments when there was a belief, at least, that Mike McCarthy had, and he convinced Jerry Jones of it, that Kellen Moore was too pass happy, and that you got to let that defense win games and don't let your quarterback lose them.
Yeah, and also Mike McCarthy felt like he'd be more comfortable calling plays and all that. But yes, I think it was good for the Cowboys to have a game like Sunday night where they didn't need Dak to really do anything and to deliver that message to him, like, look, wasn't it fun to win again? Like, there are going to be games where we need you to chuck it all over the yard, and then there are going to be games where we don't. And Sunday was one, and I think this coming Sunday is going to be another one against that Jets defense. I think the fact that they had so much success playing the way they did in the rain against the Giants on Sunday night benefits them going into this game.
Okay, in the meantime, before I get the picks up on the screen, I just want to go through. Well, actually, let's put the picks up on the screen. I'm the only one who believes. The Jets are going to find a way to go there and win this game.
I thought Bart was, after everything he said, I thought
Listen, do you see the thing? Greeny,
Yeah.
I'm using the
Jedi mind
universe.
trick.
Exactly.
You're going
using the
reverse.
universe. I'm using the universe.
I like it.
Don't pay
Listen,
attention to what's on the screen.
I'm in
you
on
know what
whatever
I
you
want.
want.
Oh, no, 2 for 2. Ravens, no. Jets, no. I mean, who's this Bart Scott?
Let's hope that
Don't
he's
let
wrong.
facts get in the way of argument.
I'm 100% good on both sides. Tua's not that young anymore. Look, I'm going to make a statement I didn't get a chance to make because Monday got busy, and then Tuesday, of course, we've been living in the aftermath of the Aaron Rodgers. I think if Tua Tagovailoa stays healthy all year long, I think the Dolphins are the team to beat in the AFC. I really do. Their defense is going to get better. I think Justin Herbert is going to do what he did to them, to a lot of people. Jalen Ramsey will, in theory, come back healthy and be fine. No one can stop that offense. They are as close to unstoppable. We kept talking about, can Lamar make the Ravens offense unstoppable and all this? That kid Tua is so good when he's healthy. When he's healthy, all he does is put up numbers and they win. If that kid stays healthy, the Dolphins, I think, are the team to beat in the AFC.
I'll say this, Gray. The biggest surprise about that game wasn't Miami winning, that Tua was not sacked. And Hembo gave me the stat. This is crazy, guys. Aaron Rodgers and Tua were contacted the same amount of times, 3. One guy played 4 snaps. The other guy played 46. Against a good Charger front in Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. If Miami's offensive line continues to play that well, I agree with you. It'll be a big test, though, Sunday night against a good Patriot defense.
When you got 2 great receivers like that, all you have to do is put 2 men out on the route. That means you can block them up, 8, turn protection. That's what I saw a lot of. So a lot of guys, can do that when you have that type of speed on the outside.
And they got speed in the backfield, too.
Yeah.
And Tua, he's so accurate. Like, it doesn't look the same as it does with the other quarterback. Somehow he looks smaller and something about the left-handed release. Yeah. But the ball is always exactly where you want it to be. Again, the big question remains.
He'll test that jiu-jitsu out, though, pretty soon.
Can he remain healthy? That's going to be the question, and it will always be the question. But if he does, Danny, I think they're as good as anybody.
I'd like to see consistency week to week. The talent is obviously there. We see what they're capable of, and it's incredible. But they gave up 233 rushing yards. They have to tighten up on defense. Everyone thinks Vic Fangio will take care of that, and maybe he will. But they can't give up 34 points every week and expect to win. And Tua, look again. I hope he stays healthy. But he never has.
Right.
Going back to college. And so, what's the plan if you do have to fill in for him? It didn't look as good last year.
The plan is Mike White.
Mike White.
Right, I suppose.
We trade back for Mike White?
Maybe his teammates will be making
There's no chance that'll happen.
Look, I think that's it. And so how about Belichick against them? Because you picked earlier in this program, you picked the Patriots to win that game at home against the Dolphins.
Because I think what he's going to do is be very physical with those 2 receivers, and that's something that, for whatever reason, the Chargers didn't do last week. And the other part of this game that we're not talking about is Bill O'Brien's going to make a similar impact on Mac Jones that we saw Doug Peterson make to Trevor Lawrence a year ago. Wow. That Patriot offense played really good last week. They were right there, a handful of plays. I'm going back and forth with Orlovsky on text. He's calling me a moron early in the game, not so fast by the end of the game. Yeah. I'm telling you, this Patriot offense is better than people think.
There's the picks on the screen. Go ahead, Bart.
But if you look at what McDaniels did, he just put Tyreek off the ball and sent them in motion and just makes it a foot race. You got to be able to have apply a lot of resources towards Tyreek Hill, which opens up Jalen Waddle on the backside.
But they could also apply pressure, which is something the Chargers didn't do.
Yeah, look, Patriots is not a comfortable pick after what we saw the Dolphins do last week. I picked the Chargers to beat the Dolphins last week and was wrong.
But it's awful.
Not about much.
A lot of games could have gone either way. Look, the Chargers are going to do that to a lot of people this year, too.
Yeah.
That quarterback is spectacular. They've got weapons for days. They're going to score 34 points a lot this season. Miami's defense is better than they looked last weekend, and their offense, one person's opinion, the most unstoppable offense in the NFL if the quarterback is there. And yesterday we had D. Wood in here. He smashed the Chiefs' helmet. He's picking Jacksonville. Let's put the picks up on the screen for today because there's going to be a changing of the guard at some point. Who was it that made the point in our meeting this morning that they've never been on the road for a playoff game in their careers? You were the one who said that to me, right? Make that point again about Mahomes because it is so. Oh, no, it was you who said it. It was so. Well, you pointed it yourself. For crying out loud, I can't remember everything here. What was that point again about Mahomes?
Right.
Yes.
What was the point about Mahomes? He's never played a road playoff game. Unless you count the Super Bowl in Tampa, which is technically, a neutral site.
But wasn't it played without fans because of COVID? I mean, he's literally never played
a road
playoff game. So the question is the road going to wind up going someplace else? If the Jaguars, who play in what we all think is a very bad division, get this win here, there is a very real world that we could live in, Bart, in which Jacksonville makes a run at a 1 seed.
And I think Jacksonville is ready to take the next step. You saw what Trevor Lawrence was able to do with a real head coach in Doug Peterson, and also, what Calvin Ridley looks like. So they have great skill position when you think about Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Travis Etienne. They can put up points. The question is going to be, can they slow down, the Kansas City Chiefs? Last year I was at that football game that they had, and they moved the ball up and down. You can tell they just weren't ready and understand how to win in crunch time. I think last year that big comeback shows them how to win in crunch time.
Greedy, while Graz didn't make that point about Kansas City, my point was it does breathe life into the Miami Dolphins, the Cincinnati Bengals. It gives those teams hope that, hey, we can get the 1 seed. And again, it bears repeating, only one team gets the bye. It's a massive difference. This is a really important game. It's getting late early for Kansas City if they come out of the gate 0-2.
I mean, they lost by a point on a Thursday night game without their second and third best players. I think the Chiefs are going to be okay. I was at the Chiefs-Jaguars playoff game. Jaguars could have beat him. That was the game Mahomes sprained his ankle, and for some reason they didn't send I felt like the Jaguars had the chance there and came up short. A team that maybe doesn't know how to win yet. I think if the Chiefs were coming in here 1-0, I'd feel better about Jacksonville's chances. They absolutely can win this game. But I don't think they will. I think Kelsey comes back and plays. That makes a lot of difference to this offense and the rest of those receivers.
But this is on the road, and I think Trevor Lawrence is in his bag, and I think he's ready to take that step to superstardom. And I think this is the one step. And I think he's going to be one of those nemesis that you can add to, Patrick Mahomes.
Could happen.
I'll tell you what, though, Greg, I was a little disappointed by their defense. I thought Jacksonville defense would have been more suffocating against Anthony Richardson in his first start. Credit the Colt offense, but Jacksonville needs a better defense to be a real contender.
That turned into a game in the second half. Very quickly, RC, I would just – many people will look at this as a benchmark game in so many different ways. Chiefs looking to avoid falling to 0-2. Jaguars looking to prove maybe they're the team to beat. Is that right? Is there that much significance on a game in the middle of September?
Absolutely not. There isn't. I think we kind of overvalue confidence or early wins. It's about getting wins. It's about continuing to stack good football. And that's what the Jacksonville Jaguars want to do. Yes, everybody's going to be looking up to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, but it's not like they've ever gone undefeated. They lose games. They just don't lose many games when it truly counts. And so the thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars is to continue building continuity with this offense. They are so explosive when you think of the Calvin Ridleys, the Evan Ingrams, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby in the backfield. They can do so much, so it's about continuing to do that offensively and now getting better on the defensive side of the ball. Tyson Campbell and Josh Allen played out of their minds against the Indianapolis Colts, but in the second half, the Colts were able to move the football, especially after the DeForest Buckner sack, fumble, recovery, touchdown. But I still believe the Jacksonville Jaguars have a ways to go to be talking about competing with the Kansas City Chiefs when it matters most, but this can be a step toward that.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.